Suspense that will clutch you like quicksand.
Johnny, there's talk of war with Russia. There's talk of conscription out there, getting people in the army and all that sort of stuff. Isn't anybody going to try and talk some sense into anybody? Yeah, there is talk of war, Johnny. Talk of war with Russia and everybody else. And yeah, there doesn't seem to be anyone doing much about it. But having said that, there is someone who wants to bloody talk to somebody. Who? Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson? Yeah, Tucker Carlson. Now, he's put it on himself to get himself over there, Johnny, to talk to Vladimir, to at least talk to somebody about this impending war that we're all sort of bloody sleepwalking towards. Johnny, do you mean that Tucker's heading over? And in days gone by, Johnny, say back in the 60s, any big-time reporter who got himself over to a bloody imaginary bloody enemy's bloody country and decided to interview the leader of that country, he'd be deemed a hero. Well, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, the likes of David Frost. David Frost and all those big-time bloody interviewers, they'd bloody relish the chance to get over there and talk to the leaders of these foreign countries that we're going to have a war with. I'm sure the mainstream media will be celebrating his heroics, getting himself over there. But it seems, Johnny, if you don't like the bloody Ukrainian war, it means you're somehow a Putin supporter.
Meanwhile, Tucker is using a very different aspect of his persona because he is in Russia.
From Tucker to Moscow with love, Tucker Carlson is in the Russian capital today to interview Russian President Vladimir Putin, much to the chagrin of many in the establishment. A frequent Trump and Russia critic Adam Kinzinger took to X saying simply that Carlson was a traitor for going to Moscow.
Jesus, they're a bit hard on him, Johnny, aren't they? Back in 1968 or something, Tucker would be he'd be a sensation. Johnny, it almost seems like mainstream media over there in the US and probably everywhere else, they want a war with Russia. They certainly don't want to talk to anyone about it. Yeah, have a look how they view Tucker's visit to Russia.
In fact, one of the leaders of the MAGA GOP is in Moscow tonight. It's the man you see here with the MAGA leader Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson. Possibly there in Moscow to interview Putin. Definitely there as a Putin-supporting celebrity.
Right, yeah, she's just being sarcastic.
But look at them talking about him like a celebrity. Everything he does on camera, breathlessly repeated. Now, it is unclear if an interview between Putin and Carlson will take place, but if it does, it gives Putin a chance to sit down with a big supporter. Of course, Carlson is now just another far-right conspiracy peddler with a show on the internet. He's no longer on Fox, as we all know. He has to stay relevant somehow, so I guess we'll learn in the coming days.
Right, well...
And everything. So U.S. tax dollars at work right there on your screen. Of course, exposing this is really why they don't want Tucker Carlson sitting down for an interview with President Putin. Carlson's audience, of course, is massive, and it's in the millions. Millions of Americans, of course, are about to learn a lot about the war and the lies that have been heaped upon the American people.
Right, yeah. That they think bloody Tucker's a goddamn traitor.
Simply that Carlson was a traitor for going to Moscow.
People. Neoconservatives are terrified, of course, about all of this because it would upend their narrative. Former Chief of Staff to the U.S. Vice President Bill Kristol wrote on social networks that perhaps the return of journalist Tucker Carlson to the United States should be completely prevented until the country's representatives can figure out exactly what's happening.
Holy shit! I don't see any of these bloody mainstream media joints in the US sending their top people over there to try and talk to get what bloody Vladimir thinks about things. They just think he's a bastard and don't want to talk to him. Right, yeah, he probably is a bastard, but you got to talk to him.
Jeremy here from The Quartering, and apparently interviewing people is now a treasonous act, and you should be barred from re-entering America should you interview somebody that the left doesn't want you to.
Perhaps we need a total and complete shutdown of Tucker Carlson re-entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what's going on. Tucker Carlson's a journalist. A journalist has every right to speak to a world leader.
Right, well... So is that what the media has become, Johnny? David Frost. David Frost and all those big time